Are you serious? Are you serious? Jerusalem Jihad. Well, yes, that might be the name of my book, but that's not what I'm talking about. It's what's happening in Jerusalem. Truly, a Jerusalem Jihad in effect. This morning, 2 Palestinians stormed a Jerusalem synagogue, attacking the worshipers that were praying inside the synagogue with meat cleavers. What? And they also had a gun. They ended up killing 4 and wounding 6 others before they were killed in a shootout with police. Now, the attack is the deadliest in Jerusalem in years, is bound to ratchet up the fears of a sustained violence in the holy city of Jerusalem. Already on edge amid soaring tensions over a contested holy site, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed that Israel will respond harshly to the attack, describing it as a cruel murder of Jews who came to pray and were killed by despicable murderers. U.S. Secretary of State John F. Kerry said he spoke to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu after the assault and denounced it as an act of pure terror and senseless brutality and violence. Now, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas condemned the attack, the first time he has done so since the recent spike in deadly violence against Israelis had begun. He also called for an end to the Israeli provocations surrounding the sacred site. Speaking about the Temple Mount, all this tension is about the Temple Mount. Jews wanting to pray on the Temple Mount, where their temple, the Solomon's temple, once stood. Muslims who announced that the Temple Mount is their 3rd most holiest site, and their Dome of the Rock mosque. But many times they emerge out of the mosque after Friday prayers, throwing rocks and petrol bombs and attacking Jews and even Christians. Now, in a statement, we said Palestinian President Abbas did condemn the violence, but still called on Israel to end the provocation. In other words, saying, Israel, it is your fault. He condemned the worshipers in a synagogue in West Jerusalem, the killing of them, he says, and the statement called for an end to the invasion of the mosque at the holy site up on the Temple Mount. Now, Israeli police called the incident a terror attack and said the 2 Palestinian assailants were cousins from East Jerusalem. The Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, a militant group, said the cousins were its members. According to the PFLP, a statement did not specifically whether the group instructed these cousins to carry out the attack, but Hamas, the militant Palestinian group that runs the Gaza Strip, praised the attack. Police spokesman Mickey Rosenfeld said 6 people were also wounded in the attack, including 2 police officers. 4 of the wounded were reported in serious condition. He said police were searching the area for other suspects. Associated Press footage from the scene shows the synagogue in Jerusalem's ultra-Orthodox neighborhood surrounded by police and rescue workers following the attack. The wounded worshipers were being assisted by paramedics with bloodied meat cleavers laying near the scene of the attack. Initially, police had described the weapons used as knives and axes, but they were actually meat cleavers. I tried to escape. The man with the knife approached me. There was a chair and a table between us. My prayer shawl got caught. I left it there and escaped, said Yossi, who was praying at the synagogue at the time of the attack. Also, another man, Yosef Postanak, who was at the synagogue at the time of the attack, told Israeli radio about 25 worshipers were inside when the attackers entered. I saw people laying on the floor, blood everywhere. People were trying to fight with the attackers, but they didn't have much of a chance. A photo in Israeli media from inside the synagogue showed what happened to be a body on the floor draped in a prayer shawl with blood smattered nearby. Folks, this is not good. So 2 Palestinians enter into a Jewish synagogue with meat cleavers, killing 4, wounding 6, including 2 police officers. 4 of the 6 wounded are in serious condition. This is a very, very disturbing scene and a disturbing situation in Jerusalem. When I think about it, when I heard it this morning at about 5 a.m., I said to myself, oh my Lord, it has begun. The Jerusalem Jihad. It truly has. And I wrote the book, Jerusalem Jihad, and of course it's only on my website, but what I tried to do was this. I tried my best to explain, according to Bible prophecy, according to current world events, that this moment, these types of moments, were coming to the holy city of Jerusalem. Folks, we're at the end time. We're truly running out of time. The attacks have begun. Go read Zechariah 14. It tells you it will happen. And it has. And it's here. And it's not getting better. We are truly living in the last days. In the Bible, here we are. We have the Isaiah. We have the Isaiah 17:1 prophecy of Damascus. We have the Zechariah 12 prophecy of the cup of trembling that Jerusalem is. And then, of course, you can even read Zechariah 14. Here's what it says. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the cities shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the cities shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of battle. And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west, and there shall be a very great valley, and half the mountain shall be removed toward the north, and half of it toward the south. And of course, you can continue reading in that chapter. Something biblical is going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. Are you saved? Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're in the last days. Please. Time is running out.